Right. Okay, call this meeting to order. And we do have a nice amount of public today. So what I like to do, or we like to do is, have everybody introduce themselves so we know, who we're sharing time with. And then I'll open it up for comments, similar to the city council to the 3 minutes and we'll move forward. Okay, can we start over there?
Hello, my name is Michelle Logan, and I'm here representing Habitat for Humanity.
I am Michael Harder, Director of Transportation Operations for Brittany Peters and Associates.
I'm Sean Greer, Transportation here at Brittany Peters and Associates.
Okay.
I'm Dawn Dodge from Kinley Horn. I'm working with the raise on the.
My name is Kimberly. I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name.
Sean Greer.
And
Allison Hewitt, third generation resident of East Tampa, work in economic development, and I have made some proposals on behalf of Drew Park to City Council and administration as it relates to the Ray Stadium, and I'm here to share the thoughts that I've shared with the administration.
and we have a gentleman over here.
Joe Robinson, citizen at large, here to bring some knowledge to Drew Park CRA, having experience dealing with all the CRAs. Here speaking as a concerned citizen.
Mr. Robinson. Okay, so now we will open it to public comments.
You want to roll call?
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call. Yeah, we just got Michael coming in. So do you want to do the roll call? Have everybody?
Yeah, everyone, I'm being for record.
Chris Painter, President. Michael Marino, West Shore Alliance. Eric Carlson, Hillsborough County Aviation Authority.
Amanda Pruitt, Automation Personnel Services.
Nick Lavendera Electric Company.
Robert Sasser. He's Lakeville Cliff Sound. I'll speak. Okay, so if anyone would like to say some comments again to the 3 minutes, the floor is yours.
Want to give it time?
Yes, please.
As I said in introduction, Allison Hewitt, third generation resident. I have attended the workshops in the city council meeting. I have represented CRAs and ran CRAs throughout the state, mainly in Manatee County, very active in East Tampa CRA. And my presentation and request to the city council is that if the raid were to come here, let's not treat it as a subsidy, as to just give the money, but let's do it as an equity investment. And what has happened in Drew Park, the changes that y'all have made, I can say because we have it in East Tampa, has been slow in coming. But because we have the committed residents and businesses, that we need to make sure that we go into this as a partner. So I recommended that rather than just making sure that the CRA money goes to the project, but it is an equity investment. So that way that the Drew Park area would have potential funding long exceeding the time of the CRA to be able to make sure that we have anti-displacement programs so that the businesses that are here, that as the stadium comes here and potential tax, the tax base increase, we are preparing the businesses here so they can stay there, so that the housing that is here can be enhanced. And so we're not displacing people as economic development happens. I think it would be potentially really good for the area as long as we are maintaining protection, and at the front is what the people who are here, the businesses who have been here for years. SE Automotive, Sam has been taking care of my mother. My mother is 84 years old, has been taking care of her Volvo for the last at least 10 years, making sure he walks her through what's happening. He gives her breaks and how to pay when different things are broken down. But that's just a little piece of the type of businesses that are here. Y'all take care of the people around you. You take care of your community. And so if this were to come, I think we need to stand partner rather than just giving the money to the raise, but how do we become an equity investor? So I will continue to share that with the city council and CRA. I am going to be walking around the automotive area to make sure that I hand deliver the Drew Park flyers, because think that some of the communities are really working day to day, just keep their lights on and keep their business going, and they're not really following the day to day when these meetings happen. And so it takes those of us who are the advocates to make sure we let them know when these meetings are happening so they can hear and participate, because this is our community. But again, my name is Allison Hewitt. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Joe Robinson.
Before you start, clock, I got the same thing on my hands, man. They killing me. They killing me.
I got you.
They killing me. Joe Robinson, I'm here to tell you why this deal should go forward and why the CAC needs to support it. First of all, there's an opportunity here that does not exist even in my CRA. I've got one, I'm asking for more. Here's what you guys are gonna get. Forget the raise right now, but this is what you will get from the government. You will get an opportunity zone. You are ranked number 2 in this whole area to get an opportunity zone. Let me just pass this around. I didn't have time to make copies, but I just have to start with the chair alone. What is an opportunity zone? It's an economic stress urban or rural area that has been identified by certain local, state, and federal qualifications. What can you do? Eligible opportunity zones. You can get investment in affordable housing. You can get market rate housing. You can get mixed use development. That's where your money's gonna come from the mixed use, not from a stadium, but from the surrounding property that will be developed. How do I know this? Because I've been tracking this since day one, and one of the few people around here that's expert in opportunity zones and CRAs, having been a member of all of the CRAs. And this is why this is good for you guys. Here is the list that the governor will be approving. Right here, there's 25, they're doing 28 recommendations. The Hillsborough College Drew Park CRA, Census Tract 12057002600 is number 2 on the list. Why? Because you gotta have this. The battery in Atlanta that did the Atlanta Braves has $1 billion opportunity zone. Why do you want an opportunity zone? Because you can get an opportunity zone fund established by investors. Here's the proof. Here is the latest map, and you'll see it has your census tract. And looking at Brown, it goes all the way around down the street. It even includes Campus Stadium, okay, up to Hines. Here's the original map. I'm gonna leave that with y'all because I don't need it. You guys need to know it. If you don't even get the stadium and the government makes this an opportunity zone, you got that for life. You got that for life. That is an economic engine anybody wants. And a CRA, because the CRA finds itself off of the tax. You can't get school board taxes, you can't get school board taxes, but those taxes which we didn't talk about, but it doesn't matter. As they build hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, that then will then generate taxes that the CRA can control as long as you are. The only problem is you need to be extended between 24 and 34. You need to go to 2042 like we are at West Camp and downtown. So I'm here to tell you the good news about this deal. Everybody's talking there, but the CAC should make a recommendation that, hey, we don't have a problem with it because we want to make sure that billions of dollars get spent over here developing everything but the stadium. If the stadium don't come, if you're gonna see it, opportunity zone, trust me, people that have capital gains tax, millionaires and billionaires, they have to do something with that if they get IRS. So instead of giving the IRS, they put it in an opportunity zone fund for 10 years. They don't have to pay any taxes. They get interest on it. And trust me, people are dying to get an opportunity zone designation because they want to get an opportunity zone fund. Matter of fact, the housing authority have them down at Encore. They're doing hotels and motels down at Encore. We got them in West Tampa. Okay, and that was CRA. So you want one. So, okay, this ain't just about the raise. I'm sorry. This is about having an opportunity zone that you can set up options on funds to fund the projects the raise one and the ones that you guys want to do down the road for the next whatever you certify. Because the zone's gonna be there regardless if the CRA closes. It'll be there forever. That's all I got to say. I had to come over and say it.
You have anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Logan, and I have the pleasure of serving with Habitat for Humanity of Tampa Bay and Hillsborough. And so I am here simply because we want to introduce this idea to the Drew Park CRA to partner with Habitat to bring more affordable housing to the area. So if anyone is maybe unfamiliar with Habitat's mission, our mission is to bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. And we believe that this mission aligns so well with the CRA's mission to also bring affordable housing. As you know, Tampa Bay has been facing a severe affordable housing crisis for the past few years, and that is ongoing. And so Habitat aims to combat that by not only providing additional access for affordable housing, but homeownership, which has the potential for a lifetime of assets and resources to stabilize families in this area. As a CRA, you have access to resources. And so when you combine that with our resources, we really get to maximize the assistance that's available to families and residents in this area. And so that is all I'm simply here to say, is to put this on your hearts, hopefully to consider. Habitat will continue to attend these meetings, and I have my information on the sign-in sheet as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? If you gentlemen come in. Sir? Your name?
Robert Haddon, Transportation Engineering, City of Tampa.
Oh, you're okay, you're presenting. I haven't met you yet. And gentlemen?
Hey, my name is Harold Crump. I'm actually in Tampa Bay Rays.
Folks with the Tampa Bay Rays, and so is Kimberly. Ready? Okay. Anybody else? Thank you all for speaking. Community updates.
I'm sorry, can I make sure that everyone who's in the audience that hasn't signed up can sign in if you haven't? But they're thinking.
Is there anybody online then? The online attendees speak?
Yes, is anyone online, would like to have make a public comment? Oh, somebody raised their hand.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I just unmuted.
Hi, yeah, my name is Alan Cruz and I'm here with my parents, Alberto Cruz and Elena Cruz, and they own the daycare just for tots at 4417 North Lois. And yeah, we don't have like a big, prepared statement or anything, just, dialing in and just saying that, we're in support of the Rays Stadium. We think is a really good opportunity. And yeah, I look forward to see how the community deals with this issue. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for speaking. Let's move forward. Community updates. Okay. Then. So, okay, our actionable items is the minutes. Then review the minutes. Have anything needs to be changed, please go then on to pay on motion. Pass.
Make a motion to approve minutes from May 6th.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? So passed. We are going into a presentation. I did want to make a comment. We are we normally try to stay about an hour. I don't know how long the presentation is, but we want you here, so come on. For the record, Susan Braun has joined us.
Excuse me for being late.
Good afternoon, council. My name is Michael Harder. I'm the Director of Transportation Operations for Brindley Peters and Associates. I'm asked by the city to come and give y'all a update on the speed management project that we were asked to do by the CRA. And to get to let y'all know, where we were, where we are, where we're going, timelines, milestones, and things of that nature. But could you put that timeline up, please? So just to bring y'all to speed, before we can talk about moving forward, timelines moving forward, I'd like to give y'all a full comprehensive understanding of how this project developed and how it's kind of working in parallel with another project. So the handout that you have in front of you has these milestones on it. And it has all the specific details for each of those milestones and how everything came about. So back in June, we were asked by the city mobility and their staff under the MOVES contract initiated by the mayor to do a pedestrian mobility and safety study around Drew Park. And of course, pedestrians and non-motorists are our most vulnerable users. And that is even more important, especially with the new developments coming in next door, and those volumes are going to increase exponentially. So we were asked to do a design project, connecting sidewalks, making sure we had crossings, flashing beacons, high emphasis crosswalks, and a lot of other safety mitigation strategies that I can show you here in a second if you guys would like to see. So the project for the Drew Park CRA, from what I understand, is that back in, was it February of 2025, y'all had met and you guys had identified, I think, 6 areas that y'all had speeding concerns about. I think it was 4 intersections and 2 corridors, 1 on disparities and 1 on Crest. And so as a result of that meeting, on June 5th, we were tasked under the same MOVES contract to do a speed management study of those 6 locations to see what can we do? What can we do to try to help, calm these speeds? So both of these contracts have been, kind of working in parallel. And so in November, the speed study was presented by Lucas Cruz to the CAC. And we presented a tiered system for all 6 locations. And what I mean by tiered system is you had your tier 1, your tier 2, and your tier 3. And then depending on the funding that was available, we were going to be told, what level of speed mitigation strategies we could implement. So at that meeting in November, I believe the council voted to go ahead and move forward, with those contracts or with that design contract to take what was from the speed study and actually implement them to design. So that's when these really started to work in parallel. So our survey for the first project, the mobility project, was complete in November of this past year, basically the same time that the speed study results came in. Okay. So at that point in time, we began design. And just in 2 months, we turned around and we submitted our 60% plans. Now, on the other side of things, for the speed management study, for the CRA, we did an amendment to the existing contract in April and survey began in May. Now, the survey for the speed mitigation project, that should be done next week. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to merge these 2 projects together. We're going to marry them together into one set of biddable, constructible plans. And we're going to take the speed mitigation survey and we're going to fast track them to 90% in a month. So as soon as we get that survey, hopefully next week, we can fast track that design and we can merge it with our other project. So everything is going to come together and we have a 90% submittal date of tentative of June 25th. And that's dependent on when we get the survey. So that's kind of my, long-winded history of the two projects. It's been, multiple moving parts, actually 3 contracts working in concert together. And so now everything has come together, everything's taking shape, everything's merged together. We're gonna have 90, like I said, we're gonna have 90% plans on June 25th. And then a month later, end of July, we'll have our 100% plans. And then we'll have final sign and seal documents in the beginning of November. And there'll be city reviews in between each submittal, and we'll address any comments that we may proceed.
So after November, we're ready to get started.
Yes, you'll have a set of biddable, constructible plans by September 3rd. Now, assuming you guys have funding in place and you can let the project, you'll be ready to go.
Sorry, I don't want to jump.
No, you're subject to having contract terms in place, though, right? Because you guys are just the design company.
Right, yeah, we're just the designers, once those signed and sealed plans go out the door, I think our involvement is either.
We have post design services under this work order.
Yeah, I really most will be involved in post design, and what that'll entail is any, RFIs, requests for information or any, help that we can, during the construction process.
The construction is still gonna have to go to the, like, RFP. 18, what do you?
RFP.
So how long does that take? Just to answer the question.
You knew it was coming, right?
Well, it depends on the construction mechanism you guys want to pursue. It is likely we can expedite it, because the mobility department has secured a large, citywide contract that includes the type of pay items that this project includes. As long as, city council's, newest financial arrangements allow for it, that the CRA could piggyback off of the contracts to procure those construction services rather rapidly, just issuing a work order authorization, which is a month most. Otherwise, we'd have to go out for construction bid, which is a bit longer. So, yeah, based on how much we have, we essentially just issued 3 construction contracts, largely for transportation projects. But we have enough buffer built in because we know a lot of our fellow departments like to piggyback off of them because our roadway service is the surface work, so it's often disturbed with adjacent departments' activities. We have some buffer. I think we can probably expedite this project.
This project technically started in 2022.
Well,
And then-
expedite this step.
I understand. So, and then we got more into it in 2023. And progressive. So we're a little, it's been 4 years since I, to 23, 3 years. So we're ready. So my concern is if you have some contracts already in place, will they be burdened with this? Or will they be able to take on
Will they be
more work
burdened?
with this? Will it be too much work for that? Or
At this time, I'm not anticipating having a significant workload out to that contract at that point in time as early as November. We're expecting to have only a few of our contracts out, but they're primarily big mobility projects, and I have 3 different contractors. So unless their schedule is overwhelmed from other activities, I have no reason to believe that. So it would still be faster than bidding out, and you'll also have a preset price because our contract already has established prices. So you already have a fixed price, you can just know what it is, as opposed to bidding out where you don't know what you're gonna get back. So it's,
when they're established, I would ask that we bring them to one of our meetings. Is that all right? Or whoever can give us an update on what's going on, so that we don't just lose track of what's next step, what's the next step, what's the next step. Perhaps it's you.
Sure.
Thank you.
we can have a mobility member come out, I guess,
So,
after that stage.
Hey, yeah, I have a question about the design. So we just had a project that is being implemented now with the streetscape. And I just wondered, in your design part, did you take into account, is there going to be any disruption to what's already been,
Good question. No, we have those plans. We're making sure that they're tying in seamlessly to your existing infrastructure that's taking place now.
that, we wouldn't want it to,
Right. You don't want it to have any redundant work. You don't want to go out there and, public see you just tear things out that you just put in. That's not a good look.
yeah, public kind of disturbed and all that.
Absolutely.
And also, if I remember with this particular design, you were gonna be doing some, I think it's like painting of like pedestrian walkways and that kind of thing. What is, because, over time, these things kind of wear out. What is the design part of making sure, or how often do those things have to be repainted? Is there a certain procedure that goes on to make sure that they don't get faded out or run over, blah, blah, blah?
All pavement markings will wear out over time. The lifespan of it depends on the product that you put down. You just put down regular tape or regular paint, it'll be gone very, very soon. What we're speccing out in our pay items is a very thick, high emphasis thermoplastic pavement. With retro, high visibility, retro reflexivity, and things of that nature. So it's basically the best pavement markings we have. So
And it lasts about what?
there's varying factors depending on traffic. I really couldn't say. I don't want to speak.
Yeah, I could speak more to this to maintenance activity, and
Right.
really to mirror what Michael said, it does vary greatly depending on the road and the amount of vehicular traffic and the volume and weight of the typical vehicles that travel on that road. So it's hard to give a value, but I can say that we are using FQG specifications. It's the same product that you get on highways. So there is nothing that is longer lasting out there. And maintenance is just going to be up to the city's regular maintenance schedule, which obviously a very large city to maintain, so it is hard to keep up with them. But that's really just an operational standpoint from the city operations department. Let's make sure they're refreshed with this.
And just overall, with the city, I noticed that we had a presentation a while back when they were doing if you see something in the road, like a pothole or whatever, I forgot the name of that program, but
Fix it fast.
fix it fast. Yeah, so I wonder, is that a similar thing that would go on as far as, once there's something done with,
So the Fix It Fast program is specific to potholes.
Right.
They generally respond, I believe, it's within 48 hours to fill any potholes that are identified. That is the, granted, I don't work in the gas department, I'm the engineering department, so I don't know everything, but I can say that the paint and thermoplastic crews are not the same as the Fix It Fast crew because they operate, one operates in asphalt and the other operates with paint and thermoplastic, and they require very different equipment and different personnel and different skill sets. So those are not the same initiatives. And they cannot mobilize as quickly as the Fix It Fast program.
Would you recommend that they call, like a plan for the city and the others in the parking?
Yeah, that's perfectly adequate. So it's-
What do you got?
thank you for that. That's quite helpful. Comments from the board?
So this, thank you. Project that was, when Lucas was here. Right? When Lucas was here in July, about the report in November. That was a second part. Right? Correct? And it was like an addendum, right? And it was now been merged, correct? Right? Because July, when Lucas was here and he walked around with the crew and mobility was here and I think from mobility was here right now.
What, the street thing?
Yeah,
Walk through?
yeah. No, not streetscape. No, it was what he's talking to about the speed management when Lucas was here. And we got that with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Does that refresh memories? Okay. All right, and that's great. That's kind of fresh, I think, a little bit in our minds because we just had that done. But my hopes today was to get details of the original project. Because it's been some time, a long time since we had any, refreshment of what we actually approved and how it's ended up. So how can we get that in detail? And it looks like we're not set up for that today, and I apologize you weren't requested to do that today, because that is what I was expecting. So I apologize, doesn't seem like anyone told you that.
No, I apologize. Feel like I said, we didn't come on board until June. So, any decisions or anything that were made prior to that, we not privy to.
So did you have anything to do with the other projects? You're going into design and these have been merged.
Mhm.
Do you have any knowledge? Are you working with, or is this another designer that's coming up with the previous? I mean,
So-
let's say your company.
So let me, hopefully I didn't misspeak. I didn't want to confuse anybody, unnecessarily, but so this y'all speed study, I'm not sure about what happened in 2022 or anything. All I know is that when we were employed to do the speed study with Lucas at Patel Green, that's when we came on board. And his contract, his role with PGA was to just do the traffic analysis, not the
Right.
plans.
Right. I get that.
Just the traffic analysis. And
So what was being worked on prior to July of this year? Yeah.
Are you referring to the Terra Tectonics
Yeah.
sidewalk improvements they had previously?
Yeah, the whole overall package, that's what millions of dollars. Yes, that.
Yeah, that was part of the first work order authorization that I believe is pending 90% submittal this month.
okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what she's asking about, I think.
okay.
It is what I'm asking for.
The
And so
concept-
you're not involved in that, or you? were?
I was not, you're talking about the concept plans that Tara did.
Yes,
Okay.
So who's working that plan?
Okay, so that's the one on top.
that's the light of it.
My fault.
Thank you, but that's what I'm driving at. Who's working on that? Is it his company?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the report that we needed today.
He's merged them right there.
Yes.
No, but there's no detail.
The one that Tara did, for the city, they provided us with the concept that they wanted us to take forward and
Right, so those are the details we want today, but you're prepared for that. Well, we know you want your two report, but just like Susan was saying, you're gonna put in, crosswalks, okay? Where are you gonna put the crosswalks? Where is this? Where is that? Where is that design?
Yeah.
Where is that design?
Okay, so like I said, we are at 60% design, okay? Your orange sections, obviously the yellow border, that is the Drew Park boundary. Okay, your orange portions there, those are the 6 focus areas for the Drew Park CRA speed study. And then I'm gonna zoom in so you can see a lot easier, but everything else.
Am I right?
Yeah, I'll draw it.
Yeah.
Okay. But, so what this is y'all probably familiar with KNZ files and where is it? Just about.
So you have DSG and ST in one, which I imagine is. Operation pop up.
Folders, looks like it's loading in the top there, there's something that's churning.
Okay, well, while that's loading, it's a lot of information. So we put together this KMZ, y'all may be familiar with what KMZs are, but in our design, in our CAD, in our computer aided drawing that we do our design files in, we can export it into a KMZ file that we can show y'all on Google Earth. So you can physically see everything that, hopefully that you're wanting to see.
Right. That's a much better. It's also visible.
I usually work in Google Earth, but,
Is this what you're talking about? I just brought this in. Is this what you're talking about, where you have the crosswalks and is that what is loading there?
That's what I'm asking. An update on it. I just brought it.
You bring them my 17, but it's.
no, we didn't bring the plans. We wanted to bring up the KMCs, because they're easier to show.
Here's the deal, we need that presentation, and I am really sorry you weren't told, or
Are
explained.
there little arrows to the left of those folders? Are you trying to get to the, does that expand? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're not showing up, is all the files underneath them are still.
Do you have Google Earth installed?
No, it's.
Can I plug in my place?
Yeah, one, no, because it's gonna mess up our recording.
Okay, so my question is then, so, great, we got a good understanding of tier 1 to 2, tier 4, because we just recently went through all that. And appreciate this process, it's emergent, and these dates are wonderful. How can we get a presentation on the details of the original projects? Where are the sidewalks, where are the crosswalks, where are this or that or whatever, because you know what, it's been over a year, something, to have Tektronix, and we need help. We're not 20-year-olds, so we don't recall it.
Yeah, and we do have that in the form of KFZ, it's just, I'm not sure what's going on with this computer.
This is something that is in your KMZ file. Is that something that's uploaded to someplace that you could be provided a link to and you could just, I know that's what you're doing here.
Absolutely.
I want
But that KMZ file, it shows all of that, and that was the intent.
So the intent was that we were gonna get the details, so you didn't know that, I get that, but so my intention is still that we get a presentation of that. And I'll give you a perfect example. We had a community meeting on the 18th of this month, May, right here in the same room about, beautification, of what's going on in Lois and Grady. And, we had been asking for a presentation from the designer for months. And we weren't getting. Poor Felix came on board and he got to deal with us on that, okay? But it had been a while. Way before Felix came, right? So we had a community meeting and during that committee meeting, at the same time that the community's finding out, we were finding out the updates of that plan, which shouldn't have been because that was our vision, that was our project, supposedly it's our project, right, with the CRA. So what came of that with the committee, with the people sitting in the audience were things like the maintenance. You know, who's gonna do the maintenance after 2 or 3 months that the groundskeeper are gonna, people that are planting the plants, what's gonna happen to them? It wasn't, it was, honestly, there was no plan. And it's okay to admit that, and they did, and there wasn't anything planned. Oh, city's supposed to take care, well, yeah, really isn't the city, or do we have to hire somebody for an X amount of time? Because the reason we're doing beautification here now again is because no one was maintaining those trees and everything else we spent money on, and they're dying and they're horrible, right? So we didn't want to be in that position. So my point is that had we gotten our presentation when we wanted it, or maybe 2 of them, we would have been able to find out things like maintenance, or like this week we found out as they were putting things in that ballards are in the wrong place and things that are gonna happen with anything, but any project. But we didn't have the opportunity to get up, and that, I don't want that to happen again. So I do want a presentation on the Tektronix part of the design. Whether that's today or we're gonna have to schedule it in August.
Does the CRA have a mechanism to send you guys you want a copy of the plans, is what I'm hearing?
And I want to discuss it with, I want somebody to present it to us. There's a lot of money involved, and I think we deserve, and our taxpayers deserve that we who approve this make sure that that's what we envisioned. And I don't think that's too much to ask. But I also, and I appreciate that your understanding.
I do think it would be good if we could a copy digitally so we can familiarize ourselves with it.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just thinking, because we have a 90% submittal coming out, and obviously that's going to be delivered to both to the city, to both the CRA as the project manager and an issuer essentially of the project. And typically the mobility department as the asset that is the asset owner. We oftentimes don't get involved until permitting, but because this is technically following through our contract, we're getting involved even in these interim steps. But if you have a mechanism to receive the documents directly from the CRA, that seems to be the most prudent way for you to get your hands on the design itself. Do you guys have public information still? Yes, we do. Okay, so I don't want to speak for BK, obviously, it sounds like there's still already includes coming doing presentations at various points. Obviously, modifications to the scope, like the scope is already set, so any modification to the scope if the plans were needed that are not currently part of the scope would require an amendment.
So that's why we need to be talking before we get too far down the road. So Felix, what I'm asking, we need to do another motion to get somebody in there, okay? But I don't think so. I think this is what we've been asking for and we need a presentation. When, I don't see this thing back up. When is the 90% gonna be done? Okay, so we're not meeting in July. That would mean August, at the August meeting.
Let's make it clear exactly what exactly are you asking me to present on that day up to? So you can be clear.
I think to get it, but what we're looking for when we have a chance, so that you know, make sure we understand this clearly. And this is what we said last month when the CRA projects team was here, this is what we asked for. Not an ask for mobility, this is a different.
I'm sure you understand, like, the middles that they provide, that they're not running additional things and so on.
Just on the turn off.
Okay, so we're not gonna.
I think he's about to do it.
Yes.
Watch him watch it.
Yeah. See this. Yes. So, apologies, it's still loading. So I can navigate to anywhere you want to see, but this is basic representation of a set of 60% plants. Okay. And so if you just want to go ahead and start, let's say here, let me turn this through part around over here so you can see a little easier. So we exported our design files into this KMC, and this shows you, everywhere we're putting sidewalk, crosswalks, signage. Where it says style 46 right there, that's what we call a solar powered RRFB, or rectangular rapid flashing beacon. For high visibility for crossings in particular that are not in stop condition. The sidewalk connectivity here, and this is basically, some of this is outside of your 6 focus areas. And some of them merge together, but like this section right here, this is all part of that original Terra plan that I believe you were talking about earlier.
What was the cross street there you were showing?
This is Virginia and Hubert, this particular intersection. So there's sidewalk connectivity all over the place. It took great effort to avoid utilities, keep construction costs down. We've already done our utility coordination with all the agency owners. This is one of your speed focus areas. Intersections. That would be Alba and Cuba.
And the solar, say again what the solar,
So in certain instances, particularly if it's more than 25 miles an hour and it's not a 4-way, it's just a 2-way, but there's still a crossing there, traffic does not necessarily have to stop. So in areas like that, we want to put the solar powered flashing beacons, and that is activated by pedestrian.
They come up,
Oh,
hit the
okay.
button,
I know,
it starts going crazy, almost like a police siren, but it's yellow.
I'm familiar with it.
It gets the driver's attention.
Gotcha.
This was the on-street parking that was added as part of that first mobility project.
For those two driveways right there?
I do not believe so. We definitely don't want to change anybody's access or. But I could navigate this to show you basically wherever within the Drew Park area that you would like to see improvements are happening.
It's not like what we like to see off of this map. It's an understanding of what the project has come down to. So are you putting in crosswalks? How many crosswalks are you putting? How many crosswalks are going on with the flashes for people to stop? Because I think there's one on Lois. I think someone from Ability to. Price. In any case. On the other side, how much parking? What's street of parking going on? We need to get our hands at least a good, I mean, I don't need to know, how many lines in the crosswalk. But we do need to know that there's gonna be X amount of crosswalks. We want to get an understanding of this project, and it's been a long time. So I'm going to ask you to come back on August when this is 90% done. Right, or somebody to come back and give us a presentation of what the project is more detailed on. Today, as we have here, our board can ask all the questions they want, obviously, and you respond if you have a question, answer, or whatever you want to tell us, and I welcome that. But that's really what I was envisioning and the request that it happens.
Okay.
Please.
We do have quantities that shows you how much sidewalk, how many signs.
In the meantime, can we have like, Nick had just suggested access to this latest version?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And it has to go through.
What is KMC?
Oh, excuse me. No, go ahead.
What does KMC stand for?
I don't know.
It's a map file. It's a map file for Google Maps or Google Earth.
Okay.
It's just the name of the layering system. Layers on top of each other.
Acronyms. Friday Springs and Russell. So it's an overlay, basically, overlay over Google.
Yeah, it sounds like she wants to put in the KPIs, which the project manager should be able to assess. It's just we assess, but it's like what she's asked for to do.
And I just want to ask one other question, following up on what you said earlier. So what you're saying is the city had already contracted with these contractors as far as bid, what the baseline of what their fees were going to be to do the contracting. And so what we would be doing once you get to the phase of implementing this is we would be using the city. We wouldn't have to go through the whole RFP bid process because it's already been done through the city, and we're just a small section that we've been utilizing than what y'all have.
Yeah, so in the past, typically, the mobility department has really large citywide contracts for, a lot of our, we know we're gonna spend X number of $1 million per year on various paving projects. We'll issue a few contracts out that have multi-million-dollar total sums with anticipated amounts for each pay item. Let's say we're anticipating 30,000 tons of asphalt to be done, among other pay items. And we'll put that out to contractors. They'll give us a general price based on those quantities. And then as we get our projects in, we can just issue work orders based on those already agreed upon prices. And in the past, our fellow departments such as the CRA, the Parks Department, and the Water Department would occasionally, with our approval, because we are the managers of those funds, and we want to make sure we can pay for our own projects, our own contracts. But with our approval, piggyback and issue work orders for their activities using our contracts if our pay items align with the activity they're doing. Obviously, if we have like paving and somebody wants to put in a brand new like traffic signal, that's not on my contract, so I wouldn't use it just that. But the type of improvements you're doing here is the kind of thing I can just run through my contract. Now, I understand there has been some modifications to city council on what kind of work orders to be issued and what has to be bid out. And I don't believe there's a conflict, but there has been some modifications regarding what fund sources can be used on contracts that have identified those fund sources in advance. So we'll just need to verify internally that that doesn't cause any kind of issues with any rules that city council has put on the expenditure of funds. As long as that's not an issue, you can just use our contract. I don't anticipate this causing an issue with our set limits. And that way you can get it out the door relatively quickly with a no fixed price rather than bidding it out.
That's a great
So-
advantage.
Yeah, that is a really good advantage. And it makes sense because, you've already gone through the whole process of figuring out
Yeah.
the contract price and.
That's why we do. That way we don't have to write up a new contract every single time. It saves itself.
What does that do to your design schedule?
That's just a construction activity. It's not a design schedule.
Just say we get 90% due June and then 100% for July. So if we were supposed to come back in August with 90% plans, is that what you want to review? Or are we going to review 100% plans?
100% plans for every kind of July.
That'll be final.
That'll be final plans.
Okay, so is that? It's your own.
So I think we can move forward. Or is there anything else that everyone else?
If it's final plans, if I want changes,
Final sense. It is in August.
Okay, so it's gonna be 9, well. Me is us. We have a project here that we have no details on. I personally don't feel good. That I really don't. This is a lot of taxpayer money and I don't feel we have the details. Yes, the details on tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. That 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, get that. We just recently done. I don't feel comfortable that I know what's going on because it started so long ago. Right? So if it's final plans, as Eric is saying, but when it comes presented to us, we're like, well, wait, that, you may not, someone may not realize it, but there's a big, like happened this weekend, this Monday, when we went out to, I went out to Grady and saw that there were ballards being placed where these huge construction trucks are gonna come out of, cement trucks, and they're gonna knock those out the first day. So because I was able to see it and understand it, not in design, because we didn't get that, right? But in person, I was able to find them. So with what Eric's saying, in August, it'll be 99.9 finished so that we get to know there's something we need to red flag, but we get a chance to. Is that what we're, right? In other words, if we say, hey, there's a red flag here, we're not locked into it because it's 100% finished.
Well, your contract scope determined what you were paying for. So what is scoped is what your engineer has, I assume, been working on. So that's already
We
been.
never saw the scope. We asked for it. Unfortunately. So, okay, so in August, when you guys come with a caveat that we're gonna be able to have some comments, not major, obviously, because there was a scope, I get that, but we should reserve the right to make a comment.
Will any others be able to hear that? If they have any comments, or will they send us anything? Or will it be too late? That's all.
That's all solved. Well, I mean, that's, it was,
Said that maybe you got it earlier, so if they want to make any
changes to look at that. I mean, the sooner the better on this. But typically, so for public engagement comments, typically like preference matters. Those, the sooner the better, so. There's maybe the 90% stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, well, typically that's handled during the concept phase, all the input gets put in, they say, okay, this is what we want now go decide. But if y'all would like to review the 90% plans and.
In August,
and get
because we can't
comments,
see this in July because we're not having a meeting. So in August,
If you want to review 90% plans about,
it's 100%, I don't care, put it 99.9%, but what is? Sorry,
You won't be able to make any changes after 100%.
it's 99.9%, leave
they
something out.
can,
leave the
as
sidewalks
long
out.
as there's money still left on their order authorization, but the more they work on it between now and the time they present, the smaller that bucket becomes. And if that bucket runs out, then, we can't ask them to do what.
right,
But right now,
How soon can you come back?
well, right now,
Special meeting.
we have a submittal date of June 25th for the 90% plans. And we're gonna fast track it and turn it around to the hundreds at July 30th. Now, if we're asked to distribute those 90s to whomever, and it takes them 2-3 weeks just to give us the comments back and we're asked to implement those comments, basically do any type of redesign that we're asked, that will have an effect on the schedule.
Okay, that's that, look, I've been asking for a year, so, I want a presentation. And this is what I've been asking for, I can't, I personally can't put my, it's a responsibility.
so is there a mechanism for, because I'm not as familiar with the internal workings of CAC and the CRA staff. Is there a mechanism by which the city CRA staff can deliver you guys a deliverable and then get your comments back outside of these meetings?
Yes, I can email them all, while I'll be able to respond to me. I can, we show for the sunshine, that instead of whatever we want to.
Okay, so sunshine, okay, all right.
We can send them all out.
But we can't talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to.
What about a
So we
special
have
meeting?
So. They can. Special meeting, alternatively, you could, if you want to not risk that bucket running out, ask them to hold at 90% and pause design
No, we're not
until a later date, but that does delay the project.
That's the
So,
pauses, we've been pausing here.
okay.
We're asking for a special meeting right now. I've heard two members say it kind of softly. We're gonna have this. I'm gonna have this.
I'm not available for a few weeks in June, so, and in July, so. Let's see. So it would have to be before June 23rd, which is a Tuesday, and after July 13th. Which is a Monday. Was that fatal for the time now, before or after, or?
July 14th.
Give at least the first day you want at the end of the time without delaying. Oh, Marissa, exactly what do you want to see at the 90%?
The plans and someone presented it to us.
Exactly what he wants a little more detail.
I want to make sure that I come prepared to give you exactly what you want to see.
What you do.
All the tiers.
The chairs we know, but the first project, we haven't gotten. And we'll do.
Say, go through the plans sheet by sheet. That's.
You can group them if you want.
That's, I mean, if you want to look at the scientific environmental plans right now, probably pull about 60%.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Good, so we're having a meeting when?
No, so you're gonna do it right now.
It won't have the metrics that you're looking for, like number of crosswalks, linear sidewalk.
Show me 60%, but there's another 40% to be done. I heard that.
Yes.
That's just a term that DOTs use. I mean,
That doesn't mean
40%
40%.
There's other things that need to.
all critical infrastructure is identified and usually its horizontal geometry is fixed by 60%. A lot of the things that happen afterwards are fine tuning to resolve conflicts.
I can understand.
So in other words, if, when, what you're gonna show us now, if there's some conflict that we see, then that would result in the 40%.
Yeah, that's typically what's done as happens. Basically, where it's, so. Yeah. Sorry, it's big file. Oh, shit, this is. Jesus, yeah, this is the signing and pavement marking set. We have a roadway set and a signing and pavement marking set that are. They're independent of work with one another. This is your signing and pavement marking layout sheet. Each sheet in the bottom right-hand corner. Oops. Each sheet in the bottom right-hand corner has a sheet number. And these boxes help us navigate the plans to know exactly where we want to go. So if there's any specific area that you'd like to see, we can go directly to that sheet.
So the boxes are confused about what.
Each one of those boxes represents a page in the plan so that you can see a little circle and it has like, let's say S12 on it. Because if you want to go to that location, you go to page S12. So it helps you know where, so if there's a specific location, like you want to see disparities and X intersection, we can jump right to that.
Is there a spot that you'd like to look at first?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
How about 5.5,
S5, S-function.
S5?
So S5 is this intersection, right?
Okay, so that's air cargo and
That's Hubert and Woodlawn.
oh, Hubert.
So this is, the dark gray is the sidewalk, and you'll notice there are new pedestrian crossing signs. Those are not RFPs. Is that a race? That's not a race. Sorry. So it's a low speed, 25 miles an hour. So it's going to be yield here condition for this particular intersection. This is a mid-block crossing that's channelized with the RRFBs that we spoke of, and this is Lois and Woodlawn. That gray area in the center you see is a raised island that slows down cars and protects them, that gives them some vertical protection as they're in the midpoint of the crossing. Although this one is not designed to be. Oh no, it is designed to be stopped. Is there, are you, well, it's a yield condition. It's not a stop condition. So this one is not designed to be stopped. Right. So unless those RRFBs are activated by a pedestrian, then a vehicle will not be required to stop.
How many of those are you putting in?
Yeah, parties here. Let's see if I can. See if I can pull up our quality sheet. Those are actually early PDS phase 3, so we don't have updated quantities yet. But I can show you, they didn't change a whole lot, so I can show you about what the quantities are and the payouts that are going to be used. Let's see how many RRFBs do that. Let's search. John, do you happen to remember that the item is? 700 series.
So these are all crosswalks that are activated if there's a person
Correct.
in the area, and then if not, then the traffic can move through without stopping.
It's, we got 20 of those. That doesn't mean 20 crossings. Each one of the devices is. So that's why it's not-
Individual devices, so is it two there each, so.
Typically, it's 2 per crossing, so that'd be 10 activated crossings.
So see, let's use this as an example, because I don't want to prolong something that we're still going to have to come back to, okay? That's exactly what I'm saying, perfect example. Right? So at one point, somebody said, okay, there's gonna be process. Listen, I don't need to know exactly every micro on it, but you just gave me good information. There's going to be 10 processes flashing. That's information I didn't know when I was walked in. See my point? So we had a vision, we approved, I mean, the board has actually, some of it has changed and some of it is still the same people that when it started. So, you know, what is it that is part of our program now? I mean, so you just gave us some information I didn't know, and that's the presentation I'm talking about. Saying, okay, you know, we're doing, you know, sidewalks on, I don't know, Hubert Avenue. Okay, and we're doing our sidewalks gonna be here, and I was say, okay, I don't need to know how much feet of sidewalks, but I need to know that you know, I think, you know, we have responsibility taxpayer funds here. That, you know, the project is gonna include sidewalks, that it made it to the design, you know, that we have now, we know, possibly we think, right? 10 crosswalks with flashes, right? So I didn't know that. It might have been presented to us a year and a half ago, that this was part that could make the design.
So you'd like a verbal summary of what's in these plans?
And you could just, you know, discuss with us, saying, okay, and then the top sidewalks, what else are we putting in? Or is all our stuff just going into sidewalks and crosswalks?
It would help if we have them send the plans in advance. We can all review them
Yes.
and then come to a meeting and
Yes, and
present.
I hope you understand, there's millions of dollars involved in this. You know, and it started here with this committee, and it's been a while, so it's not the fact that it's been a while, but it's been a while that we don't have details, so we, you know, we have a responsibility to know what's coming down, and so like somebody said, if it was Eric, it totally was 100%. So that's what we're asking for. So I did hear two members talk about a special meeting in July.
Still not really clear.
Okay, so when you come back, you're gonna tell us, please, okay, what we're asking for, what I'm asking for is, what we have been asking for is, what is it you're gonna do? You're gonna put in sidewalks? Yes. You're gonna put in crosswalks? Yes. What else are you doing? Okay, are you putting in a traffic light, which I know you're not, okay? That's everything. What is it that you're doing? How many sidewalks, how many, you know, what streets are the sidewalks going on? You're developing mobility and connectivity, right, and safety. Right? So how are we connecting through art? We're doing bike lanes. Or we, now a lot of these things were discussed, and some of it was in the design that we haven't seen in a while. So that's what I'm looking for, is an overview of what we are getting before we come 100%.
I will clarify.
Thank you.
Typically, the type of meeting we request is not at its current stage, so.
So, but just like Eric said, if we come up with something with ballots can't be in front of a driveway, we need to be able to say the ballots cannot be in front of the driveway like we just experienced this week.
And then the city would permit the plans.
Sorry?
And the city would permit the plans.
They did permit.
No, permit for construction. As in,
I understand, but it's just,
Is-
so you understand my concern.
all of the,
Please.
even all plans that are produced by, consultant engineers has to still be permitted by the city's permit staff and the associated department. So something like that, the city department reviews, the city departments review all of those, so including the stormwater plans here that EPA produces will be reviewed by the city stormwater department. They will be reviewed by the transportation department. Wastewater,
water department.
At least good,
Yeah.
everybody's cleans when they're building something, so, again, yes. Okay, so can we do that? And do, we have two people that wanted a special meeting, or do you want to wait till August?
I would advise doing some prices for the homes instead of, because it's typically they have a pre-construction, which is.
This timeline,
Sure, so this, understand plan is currently July 30th.
like 30?
July 30th, and we have a meeting in August, when is our next meeting? August
I
5th.
mean, we get the stuff, the survey for the speed mitigation portion next week. We can turn that around a couple of weeks, get you 90s. And depending how long it takes to get comments back from the 90s, assuming about 2 weeks of review time. So
Knowing the guidance on this is. Yeah, it's good.
This is our August 5th
Okay,
meeting.
August 5th is our meeting. Would you like to be with us August 5th, please?
Sure.
Thanks. Got it. Okay, August 5th, we have that, and we have the park as well. We're gonna get a park update.
That one we're listening.
So that's true. Any other questions for our guests?
Just, I'd like to be able to access the KMZ file over the overlay. And, if, and my question is, if you give us that, is that only for the border of Drew Park that you give it to us?
for that particular KNC, yes, you have to have Google Earth installed on your computer,
Okay,
which I believe is still a free service. Just-
Remember, you can set that as. You print her something like this.
Oh, no. This was like overkill, I thought, as far as the color printing that they did for the speed management. I mean, it was wonderful, but it seems like it's, if it's gonna look almost exactly the same as this, I think it would be better. As a, as a computer shop. I feel like this is a waste of people.
Yes, yeah, go to the states.
okay, are we in agreement? We're gonna get this ahead of time or something, ahead of time, 90%, 60%, 100%?
As soon as you available, you'll send it to me and I'll
Okay.
forward it to the.
Yeah.
And then I think you get a digital version, and you can look at your computers and blow it up. And if we need you to, I'll print it out. For everybody who wants to, turn that off.
Oh, well, that's so kind of you.
So we can move forward, yes. August 5th, I have,
You want 60s or do you want?
90.
It's the only way to know.
So when you get the numbers, right?
Gotcha.
So we'll get the 90% version.
Right, and then you come back August 5th, they'll come back August 5th and present. Or do that.
okay, great.
All
Thank
the
you.
agreement, or do that.
The most special meeting, we're gonna do this August 5th. Okay, we can move forward. I really love that, slide that you had with the time tables. Thank you. That was great, actually. Okay, so anything else? We're moving forward. Are you going to talk about signal boxes right now or skip? Okay, Cory.
Um,
Yeah,
There we go.
This is really simple. Just putting it into our scenes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And of course, the
Corey Robinson, Arts and Cultural Project Coordinator for the Tampa CRA. I'm here today to talk to you about pedestrian safety. So, follow up the safety presentation you guys are just working on. With an artist wrap signal box project. The benefits of the signal box, graffiti abatement, pedestrian safety, streetscape and corridor improvement, and boost the neighborhood brightening. You have 5 locations of city-owned signal boxes. So the 5 locations are Tampa Bay Boulevard and HCC's driveway, Lois and MLK, Lois and Osborne, Lois and South, and Lois and Crest. So this would be heavily on Lois Ave. And these boxes would be wrapped 360 degrees with artist designs. The next slide shows how it lines with the Drew Park SAP and also the CRP and set policies for graffiti abatement, which is it really helps out with all the boxes not getting repasted and things like that, and just like vandalizing a hole. It will brighten the streetscape. So I'm here today to request up to $20,000 for the project. We did a similar project in West Tampa. They had 9 boxes. It cost about $17,000. So I don't think we'll be going up to the 20, but prices change. So we want to make sure we have availability for the entire project. So it's kind of a 2-part ask, asking for the funding. And then if that funding is approved, then we will be asking to appoint a CAC member to be part of the art selection committee for this. The CAC member will represent the CAC in the decisions on designs and the artist selection. This will have about 3, possibly 4 art selection committee meetings. Each art selection committee is made up of a CAC member, a community member, a public art committee representative, a arts expert, and a department representative. So in this case, it would be mobility. And then, so those are the 2 requests. And then if this project were to go through and you guys want to do it, the other ask would be to vote on if you wanted to have themed boxes, like, and we developed the themes with the CAC appointed person. Those themes could be aviation, nature, any true park history. They could also be all open-ended artist creation boxes if you wanted to just leave it up to the artist. You have one of those, aviation history. So there's if there's other themes that the community would like to see, that can be, facilitated as well. So I guess I keep saying it's a 2-part ask, but it's really a 3-part ask: the funding, the appointed person, and then if you want to go with an open-ended concept for the artist, or if you want to go with themes. And those themes, I will work with the CAC appointed member to really make sure it represents.
So we have any questions?
I think this is a fantastic opportunity. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think this is great. I would jump all over an aviation theme. And I just think this is wonderful.
I had a couple of questions. Do you have any examples of signal boxes that have been done already? And my second question is, have we had any problems with graffiti on any of them?
So we did just replace all your garbage cans on Lois and in Linear Park. They just got installed this week. Those were heavily graffitied. Some missing paint, some other, but there was like some graffiti on some of them. I did notice that the box on the Tampa Bay Boulevard, when I driven by one time, it had like a lead pasting on it. People put flyers for events and things like that. So it does deter all of that. Some of the graffiti you see on signal boxes, you can't really see unless you're like really up close, so it kind of just deters all that, and then just provides like an a bigger, broader sense of pedestrian safety too, you know, like bring some life to the corners of the property. So then, you know, people slow down a little bit more, they look a little bit more, you know, not dangerously look. We can't put any, words or, recognizable faces on any of the boxes. That's an FDOT guideline. So, that, poses some design element, you know, so, but, yeah, so it definitely deters what graffiti has been there. I won't say that like every location has, you know, graffiti. That's not the case, but it definitely will deter it, especially if, as Drew Park grows and more people, you know, or might get more graffiti. I don't know.
Well, and you don't have to have.
Oh, I don't have any, I can bring up a website.
There's actually right here at NLK and Dale Mabry is a box that the Western Alliance wraps.
Oh, really?
It's sports
They're in
themed.
the cage, right?
There's one at Himes and MLK that is tailgaters. At Tampa Bay Boulevard in Himes, it is, it's a concert. Yeah, in Columbus and Himes, it's baseball. The one at Columbus and Himes was graffiti. Someone wrote Yankees suck on it. But it was Sharpie marker, so it came off pretty easily. The box that the Western Alliance wrapped, the intersection of Western Boulevard and Cypress, also had someone write on it in Sharpie magic marker, and our staff person drove by and saw it, and she had nail polish remover in her car, and she was able to wipe it off, so.
So you're calling them wraps, so they're done outside and then they wrap around there?
Yeah, so the way it works, and you can see it there, it wraps around, and depending on the contractor, we used a guy named Jack Signs, he's based at Dunedin, yeah, he's very good. So he'll actually do everything, he does it really fast. And the challenge is honestly doing a design that works with the FDOT standards. So, all of the ones that the Western Alliance did are blues and greens, because those are the Western Alliance colors. Around the stadium, they're themed of like stadium events. And the rest of the West Shore, it's people shopping, people eating, people on airplanes, kids going to school. They're not as photorealistic as these. We kind of did cartoon characters for the first phase, and then we realized it was kind of weird, like blue and green faces.
I do love those boxes.
So the ones that we did later on are still cartoonish, but they look like real people more so than cartoons.
That's a great explanation. I visualize this a bit more when you were explaining.
And the idea behind them to the point about pedestrian safety is that if you're going down a street, you see something like this, you'll take your foot off the gas just a little bit. And that's obviously the value of any sort of public art and public spaces. And so, yeah, it all kind of depends on, you know, what you want to do. I would suggest that you want to do something that is a cohesive theme, whether it's in color or, you know, one of these ideas. I would not necessarily do the open-ended part because you do want to have branding that's associated with the district.
So let's take this by steps. I do have one question though. But do we only have 5 here in Trevor?
City-owned boxes.
We only have 5 city-owned boxes.
You cannot wrap county boxes.
And FDOT is a little bit of a longer process as you.
So the answer is 5. That's
5.
what we have available to us. Okay, so number 1, you have 3 asks.
Yep.
Right? One was money.
Yes.
Okay, so
I make a motion to recommend funding up to $20,000 for the signal box wraps.
Second,
all in favor?
Wait, who's the second? I need to.
let's prove it.
All in favor? All right. And all opposed. So this is so passed, okay?
Okay, so second question would be, second motion would be themes or open-ended, which I'm hearing, I think themes is.
I love aviation.
I
You don't have to have.
I grew up here.
No, we don't have to have them now. We
You
just
don't
want
have
to-
a theme or open.
Yeah, just so we know, so when you appoint a CAC member to work on the project,
No.
we-
Go
Yeah.
through the vision that you
Let
want.
me finish my comment, I'm sorry, and then what
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
just
just
saying,
saying,
aviation and True Park.
Drew Park history
Drew
is,
Park
you know,
history.
it's something we had talked about in the past. You know, I know that aviation is a part of Drew
But
Park
there's more
history,
to Drew
but there's
Park.
more to it. And being a member on Facebook of Tampa history, it's really, really nice to see, you know, to have people see a little bit of history of Tampa because it's changing so rapidly. So that's my.
I'm with you on that, but that's gonna come later after the rent,
Yeah.
right? So the second ask is,
A motion to think.
Yeah,
Second,
in favor? Aye.
and then the third would be to appoint someone to be on the art selection committee, so whoever is passionate about the art.
Nominate people?
Should, nominate.
Can I push somebody to the front line?
It's up to
Anybody
you.
want to nominate?
Susan, she lives in the arts world.
Sure, sure. But I would need some input.
I can give, the artist we use, the lady Gina Bernardini,
She's great.
lives in, Town and Country. So just down the road.
Is this gonna be like an
Yeah,
open?
we'll do an open call.
Yeah, but,
We'll
yeah,
do a call for artists. It'll just be a local call, so local artists,
You got that.
each artist usually gets how we did in West Camp, each artist got $1,000 stipend. They present, whoever's chosen gives 2 designs for the art selection to choose from. Out of those 2 designs, some edits will be made based on, mobility, if there's mobility issues or, just like changing it a little bit. It was really successful. This was Adrian Demita wrote up the West Tampa, project. And so,
So we're good. Thank you.
oh, we just need a member to be appointed.
I make a motion to nominate Susan. Or is that-
Second.
All in favor? My goodness, this.
Sorry, I had too many asks.
Like, I don't even have to ask.
I had too
That's
many
great.
asks, sorry.
Yeah,
Everyone's on board?
everybody's on board.
And it's great. This project usually goes a little bit faster than some other art projects where you have to fabricate sculptures and other things. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I just want,
Yeah.
just if you
Yeah.
can send me a link of whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Through Felix.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
get
send
it.
you- And I'll also send you the one we did in my last job. with
Great.
the material.
Yeah,
There's a lot
that
more
would be
examples.
very helpful.
You can look at my tool also.
Yes.
And I'll be in contact with you, with Felix, of course, and we'll be working on this and we'll try to get some things scheduled.
Felix, this is on you. We gotta get the manager's report. We're a half hour overdue, so.
We need to go over the management report, or does everyone have a chance to
So,
read
does
it?
anybody have any questions on?
No question.
Not good though. Does anyone have a chance to read them, would like me to go through the highlight?
I'm ready.
So we could just go. Okay, new business.
And if any questions come up after about the management report, that report, people can pull it up again. I can go back to it. if you want.
Anybody have anything to bring up in business?
Uh,
I do, but just.
I just have a question about the commercial grants tracker. Is there any limitation as to these board members that participating with any of the commercial grants or how any of that? Is there limitations or restrictions?
Yeah, it's if you're, it's a full waiver, that's an ethical issue, so the actual student TH members are not eligible to use it.
Not eligible.
Not eligible.
Okay, so I do understand it's being reviewed.
It's reviewed, but we don't have a plan, so I look for it as of now, but not yet. So, you know. And that goes, I'm sorry, let me answer it, so a family member is also applying, spouse or direct parent. It also is not allowed because of the direct relationship.
So I just wanted to update you, I did go to the CRA meeting, CRA meeting, oh, you were there. I was there too. Yeah, so was Susan. Michael, were you there the second one? I think so. So, I just wanted to let you know that I did appear, just to get some comments regarding, this is the second time. This was the subject of the race. And, so I always open up saying, I can't say one way or another because we can't. We haven't talked about anything, we haven't together, we haven't met with Rays haven't met with us. So I have no comment, because I don't have consensus of the board of what to say in regards, things that I just brought up was more like just eye-opening type of things. You can watch them if you haven't watched it. It's more like, it's our tax money and you have to look, read it to see what the verbatim is said, but, basically, you don't expect, things, this is part of money from us. These are our services that provide taxes. These are our products that provide taxes, our work, our sweat, our tears, our work. And for the state, the county, and the city to have just offered up our tip money here, which is our taxes, without having a conversation with us, I thought was not. No one has had a conversation, either in the state, city, or county level. And the rates. So the only opportunity we've had is in front of our CRA board. And that's it. And so it's kind of disturbing personally to me. Is that our monies are being used without our discussion. Just take it away here. That's just, but I also came down and say, we haven't had a discussion. I also would say, that I did, meet the owner of the race, and we did have a little discussion, and in fact, Felix was there for part of it, or most of it. And the kind of feel was that, he was under the impression that we were on board as a CAC board. And I, because some city council people were asking him why haven't you that would be part. And I read that his take was that we were on board and we definitely the fight. So almost correctly said that, or did say that. I let him know that, I'm sorry if he's been misled or if he's been thought differently or what have you, but as a board, we have not met, and we don't have a position on it. And so, I think I'm here to say that let's just be careful when we're out there. Because I know there's some people that, have other projects going on, possibly with the race and so forth. Somehow this gentleman got the impression that we were on board. And you all know as much as I do, we have not had a meeting with the race. We have not had a discussion with this board. We know it very clearly. And so whoever he spoke with and felt that he got that impression, I just let him know that that's not legit. That's everything I just mentioned. So with that, I did take the opportunity, and as well as he offered almost at the same time, both of us to come and speak to us and to have some community engagement. So the meeting is set for next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna announce it.
Yeah, it's set for next week, and you'll, Phyllis will be able to tell you a little bit more. I did also ask them to be more than one meeting, because this would be an initial meeting, but as things progress, one way or another, because again, we don't know, one way or another, I see and anticipate a second meeting. But definitely with not only us, this one he's coming to see us, but there needs to be community engagement. This is, this is a lot going on here. And we need to be given the opportunity to discuss things with him or with the race. So that's up to date where I'm at somewhat, and I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. Right. It's not much, except we're having a meeting next week. And if you want to introduce the meeting.
Well, is there any other new business?
I had asked first and no one had said anything, so I think we'll go.
Making sure that we pump up afterwards. Oh, yeah.
Do you need to have a quorum for this meeting on the 10th?
I was gonna discuss that, yeah. Right now, we scheduled the next meeting for next Wednesday, the 10th, if you and Patty were available to present to us before the next CRA board meeting on the 11th. It's being called a special session. We'd like to have a quorum, but no action being required. It's just that being called as a special session, so you can all be together and discuss it openly in the sunshine. So if we don't have a quorum, it's okay, we still meet, and it'll be in the sunshine, so it won't, no decision gonna be made, it's just mostly an open forum.
Education.
So the rate going to speak to this, you speak to you all are gonna be able to ask questions, and then the rest of the what's the floor of the community, so they're gonna have a voice as well.
So how are we, is it gonna be advertised to the community?
Yes.
And how?
We already posted it online, it's been publicly noticed. You all should have flyers at your pads. We're gonna be, everyone's assistance in public noticing it, as well. We have a volunteer from, East Tampa who's gonna be helping Marissa hand them out, and you can glad that people can answer to the community, you know. And, we'll just be, I've been advertising to everyone who listens so far. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of media. So yeah, it's gonna be in the auditorium. It's gonna be, we're expecting a big turnout. Yeah.
That's everybody's cooperation. I mean, grab at least 10, go find 10, you know, residents, owners, or
Run some over.
commercial, you know, just go. Actually, when I've done that, did it last time for our meeting, it's so nice to meet people. They're so nice. There's just so much going on in Duke Park. Even we've had businesses here for 40 years. It's the people working here are just amazing. And the kind of business you're really, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was in Duke Park. So please take at least 10 and at least, you know, if you do just 3, 4, 5, whatever you can do, just stop, knock on the door and say, hey, would you like to come to this? It makes a difference and really it's very fulfilling, especially because we represent that.
Next CRA board meeting, the 11th, after that, it's in 9 a.m. City Hall. The next CRA board meeting after that is July 23rd, it's different dates. Because I think they're on vacation the first week of July. We will not have a CAC meeting in July, and our next CAC meeting is August 5th. And the final announcement, personal, but it affects you all. I will be, out for surgery, actually starting, Wednesday, June 24th, and I'll be returning, July 13th. Timed it around, so it doesn't affect our meetings and everything.
What were the dates again, Felix?
June 24th to July, I return July 13th.
Wish you the best.
Thank you. I expect that after the first week, I'll probably be answering phone calls and probably checking emails, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, feel free to reach out and I will return your text or call or email as soon as possible in that time period. And then after that, I'll probably work remote another week, so I won't give them time for today. Then after that, we're right in time for our next year report.
Okay, so because we
Oh, I'm sorry, that's another thing. The annual report is out and you all should have a copy in your folder. And, the more recent report. That's it.
So because we've had, so much talked about today, and we do have, you know, I just wanna, because I did see a hand, so, just very brief, because we do keep it under an hour, it's now an hour and 40 minutes. So if anybody wants to make a short comment, yes, that's true.
I'd like to have my doctor's receipt and found it.
The doctor's receipt?
The documents that I was, to be received and found in the record.
I'm sorry, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
I was having a good time when I'm sitting next to you.
In terms of they gave the presentation, but I know there was still a different reading.
Yeah, this is good for me.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Robbins. Anything else?
I do have one more thing today. Yeah. June 6th, which is this Saturday, is a CRA housing fair at, Fair Oaks Recreation Center. With, flyers, at the back of your package and more there, and it's also the city of Tampa having a housing events. Homeownership event on Friday, June 26th. Flyers are all available at the table if you want to be interested in attending.
Here.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn, second.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. You all next?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I feel. Sure. We have a lot going on.
Well, and what we decided was we,
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Tomorrow we're gonna be here again at 5:30 to discuss the grant program. Do anyone know the final update on the grant?
Tomorrow, what year?
What time?
5:30.
if not one of the words or numbers. The ones, that's words or numbers. It'll let you do logos, like the West Shore W. We could use. You can't show.
Are you gonna be here for me?
Now, you can't show people, it's not has boxes that show people. That to me looks too realistic, but, we went the cartoon route because it was a way to show all the things happening in West Shore without showing real live people. One of the things that held up, now we did city boxes and SDOT boxes. So that's why it took a little bit longer for us. But one of the things we did was, yeah, we have a lady riding a bicycle with a dog in a basket. And so she just ride bicycle, get off. After I rejected it, because they said, it's unsafe because the dog needs to be wearing a seatbelt. So we redid the design, of the dog wearing a seatbelt. And that's on like West Shore and Laurel. But what we did was, once we did the first project, we did the first batch of like 8. And then we did the ones around the stage. And then when we did the next batch of like 20 or whatever it was, we just used the same designs over and over because the process of getting everything approved is what took the longest. And like I said, the guy that the city of Renton, this guy Jackson Hines, he does it for FDOT himself. So he knows all the specs. It looks great. I mean, he even did he had identified incorrectly a signal box at the new Publix on Kennedy. So the map for the sheet says there's a signal box there, but it's actually like blocker sized because it's attached to the pole. So Jack went out there and realized, oh, wait a minute, this is too small. So he redesigned one just for that box. So he does a really good job, and if you go out there, he tends not to, I mean, this is a good. No, no.
What the artist concept.
Correct, yeah, but like I said, we used I was showing, I pulled it up on my phone. So this is the one on Hines and Hibbett Boulevard, so you see like, it's the girl singing, and the other side is the guy playing guitar. And so, and the theme, like, the only theming is the blue and green, and the somewhere the West Shore Line logo. Otherwise, everything is different. And again, it's showing like, the guy flying an airplane, you know, lady out to dinner, businessman with a briefcase, kids going to school. Yeah, it's all great, so.